Okay, back with Ares, um, the god of war. He is said his throne on Mount Olympus is said to be covered in human skin. The Roman god Mars, who Ares kind of gets transformed into, is the father of Romulus and Remus, um, and he is infinitely more important in the Roman world than he is in the Greek world. Hestia, talking about important, Hestia was very important to the people of Greece. She was a virgin goddess. She is the goddess of the hearth, so is the symbol of the household. And when a baby is born, it's carried in and received into the family. Um, Both in Greek and Roman households, the hearth fire was not allowed to go out unless it was ritually extinguished and then ritually renewed. So that was kind of a really important thing because everybody had a house. Each city also had a public hearth sacred to Hestia. So she was kind of everywhere. Let's see. Right, Pan can't stop doing anything about Greek mythology without Pan. He was the god of shepherds and flocks. He was the son of Hermes and a nymph. He was born with the legs and horns of a goat, which causes his mother to reject him. Um, and he was um, he had he was not popular with going back. Sorry, guys. Um, Echo ran away from him and lost her voice, being condemned to repeat the words of others. She gets punished that way. That's kind of interesting. And in some regards, represents sexual desire, which can both creative and destructive. This is where the early Christian churches kind of preached loudly against the destructive power of sexual immorality, and much of the iconography of Satan comes from Pan. Also, really interesting is giving somebody the bunny ears, as you see President Obama giving to President Bush, um, is actually an ancient thing. It's actually Pan's horns. To put Pan's horns behind someone else's head actually signifies that they're sexually aroused or horny, right? Um, let's see. Another fleeting nymph running away from the sexually charged Pan transformed into a reed, which inspired Pan to invent the shepherd's pipe and or the panpipes. And Pan was considered to be the cause of sudden fear that someone comes to for no reason, especially in lonely places. That's why it's called panic. So super interesting there. Um, Coming to the end here, Greek worship. The principal worship of was sacrifice. As a part of animals being offered an altar. The purpose was to grant some favor, and because gods were naturally jealous and angry, um, or to refrain from doing harm. So it was, please don't hurt us. Um, let's see. Sacrifices needed to be done with precision. This involved carefully choosing the victim and the method of the sacrifice. Um, Sacrifices were necessary uh, to question um, an oracle. This was a person who lived in a particular um, place. The most famous, of course, is the Oracle at Delphi. Oracle is not a place, it's a person. And so you had these places where these Oracle lives, and they would take drugs and they would smoke things, and they believed that the gods spoke to them and gave advice to people who would come and pay them for that advice. Okay. Festivals. Ceremonial festivals were a big part of their religion. They had over 120 days devoted to festivals. There were four like kind of national festivals: the Olympic, the Pythian, Isthmian, and Nemean Games, all dedicated to different gods. Participants would come from all over Greece, and participants probably had to be fairly wealthy because they had to pay for training, transportation, lodging, expensive. Women could not compete, nor non-Greeks. The main events were chariot racing, wrestling, boxing, mixed martial arts, the 200 race, and other foot races, marathon, of course, the pentathlon, and except for the chariot race, all the events were performed in the nude. So super fun to watch, I guess. Um, Another concept that Greeks kind of invented is the idea of ethos. This is a doctrine or belief that music has an important place in ethics or like the person's personality. Although most of the major Greek philosophers believed this ethical influence was a reality, they disagreed over the process by which how it worked. We don't really call it ethos today. We continue to recognize the influence of music. We, call it like kind of musical um, therapy, right? That's kind of cool. And lastly, I kind of want to talk about the dark side. The Greeks believed in witchcraft and curses. We've found and discovered many curse tablets and where people wished harm to other people. They also believed in ghosts, so unburied souls wandering the earth, kind of a limbo. Plato describes this, and these ghosts were people who couldn't detach from their money or their possessions. So that's 3 videos of Greece, and we